Hey, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada, and
Um,
we are still figuring this podcast out
every day we figure it out.
every
Um,
day in every way. How's it going?
can I just tell you that I tried watching the Jamie Foxx special on Netflix,
You
and
did?
I couldn't get past 10 minutes.
Oh, why? Oh, because he's.
I mean, I cannot remember. I think he was before our time in his talents and why he became a household name or whatever. And I think he's very talented. But his special, which it isn't, I mean, it should be more labeled a one-man show, and it should also be labeled a money grab. I don't know. I didn't think he needed the money, but I don't know anything about him. It is. He's like fake crying, and there's a difference between acting and fake crying. He's fake crying.
In his comedy special.
Yes.
Oh my
It's
God.
about how he had like a stroke or something. I don't know. I was talking to my friend that actually finished it, and he was like, "It's worth you keep watching." But genuinely does he just keeps repeating himself. Like he's like, "Atlanta, you saved my life, Atlanta, Atlanta, Atlanta. You saved my life. The internet tried to kill me, but you saved my life, Atlanta, Atlanta." You're just like, what are you, a sermon? What is this? And then he's
filling time. He's got an hour. He's like, ATL Anna, AT-Lana,
yeah. He's
Atlanta.
literally going through security. He was like, "Where are my little tiny travel container?" Like, what are you doing, dude? But it's supposed to be about like how he almost died a year ago and the story of it. But oh my God, I was watching with Evan, and I was like, I'm setting a timer, and we're gonna wait until he does his first real joke. It was 9 minutes and 20 seconds in when he told his first, we'll say in quotations, joke.
He sounds like a UK comedian. Am I right?
Dude, it was. And then, like I said, my friend finished it, and he said at some point in the middle of it, one of his daughters comes out and just plays guitar, and he's just behind her being like, "Baby, baby, play, baby, baby." Like, what do we do? Like,
Wow.
It
That's
made me
amazing.
so angry, genuinely. And it's funny because I wanted to watch a documentary that Evan knew the person that made it, and he's like, "This isn't going to be good." I was like, "Yeah, but I care about the subject, and it doesn't matter." And so truly every 2 minutes he's pausing it to be like, "This is trash, and this is why they did this, and this is why this is trash." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is totally trash." I enjoyed it. I don't care. You know what I mean? I
What
don't
was
care.
it? What was the documentary? Oh, you know.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I see. Because he can't say anything.
Yeah, because he knows the person. I don't know
my
Jamie
God.
Foxx, nor do I care.
What if Jamie Foxx was really hurt?
Yeah, Jamie, can I write for you? Because what you did was trash. But I did this same thing. I mean, he wasn't enjoying it either, but I did the same thing where every 2 seconds I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? I cannot. And I get that he's famous, and that's why he gets to do bad stuff on television. But can't there be some kind of program where you put a famous person out for a money grab, and then you help somebody become famous someday by putting out good stuff? It made me remember that right before the pandemic, remember Eddie Murphy was going to get $80 million to make a special, and you were like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
And he decided he didn't need to do that either.
No shit. And to me, it was kind of how we're looking at the Mike Tyson fight, where it's just you're going to have to get back into comedy shape. Why? For what?
And he didn't, though, is the problem. Yeah.
All it does is ruin your legacy. All you have to do is either touch women inappropriately or come out with a special 20 years after. What are we doing, guys? Sit down. Keep your hands to yourself. What are you doing?
Keep your hands to yourself and shut up. So funny.
What are we doing? But it's Do I think Jamie's talented? Absolutely. Do I think I cannot figure out if he has a gambling problem or somebody held a gun to his head, because there was no reason to make that. There's no reason to make that.
Yeah. Well, he probably got millions for it.
Sure, but do you need them?
Millions?
I mean,
really
maybe
hard to turn that down.
Yeah, no shit. I actually, if he was in the hospital, because he basically said he was in a coma for like 20 days or some shit. So it's like, with those hospital bills, maybe he did. Maybe
Right.
this was all to just pay back his health insurance. And now it all makes sense. Oh
Yeah. If I got offered millions to do a comedy special using none of the material I have, just like they're like, it's got to be new and it's got to be next week, I would be like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Sure, but I would like tap my resources and like work really hard. There's no way he worked really hard. The lighting guy did. There was some really good lighting, I have to say.
That's like, good.
They set the mood.
So it was like a one-man show, not a stand-up special.
It was a one-man show if he legit like was woken up in the middle of the night and asked to perform. that is. And
he's like, who else is in the house? My daughter's here. Get your guitar. I haven't picked it up in 3 years. Get your guitar. Come on.
Hey, it's now the pandemic. We're doing it for TikTok. Start dancing. Let's do this. And he does. He comes out dancing for a bit. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, and my thing is I don't hate watch. Like, it's just, so once I'm out, I'm out. Like, I've started probably 10 specials in the last year and just been like, no.
Oh, I can't. I haven't finished a special. I mean, there may be one or two, but mostly everything I start is like, it gets 3 minutes, if that. You start doing the worm, I'm out.
If you start dancing in the beginning of a comedy special, unless that's like your jam, which I just don't, like, go dance.
Like, even Ellen didn't do that, and that's her whole thing. That special I did watch. I didn't have any problem with that one. That was all right.
I didn't see that.
She did try to like paint herself a victim and all of her Queen of Mean stuff, but it's like, but you were mean. You were mean to people.
Yeah, I also like, I'm a little over the using your special as a PR stunt. Like, I didn't watch Chris Rock's special where I guess he talked about the Will Smith slap.
Yeah.
And then, this is him talking about his, near-death experience, and Ellen's talking about her loss of her show or employees not liking her. Whatever it is, I just want to be like, hey, guys, as somebody that literally talks about everything in their life, I just want to be like, what? Either make it interesting or talk to your employees directly. Like, what do we do? Like, sending this to them? Is this like
a meeting?
Yeah, is this the worst Zoom meeting ever? Like, what are we doing? I just find this like trend of like, I don't know, like, and I get it, like they're making money off it, but I feel like every time they're just like truly ruining their legacy in a way where it's just like, people liked you. People thought you were talented. It's like The Boy That Cried Wolf, right? Like, where like you keep doing it and eventually you diminish it so much then it's like, yeah, man, I've watched 3 specials where you don't finish a joke or you don't know structure anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
So I want to be for that reason I'm out. Like,
yeah, totally. I've been watching so much Shark Tank right now. I'm like, yeah.
We watched it like 3 nights in a row before going for bed, and I was like, and for that reason I'm out, Jamie. But yeah, that's that anger. I watched it 2 days ago, and it's still like I went to
2 days. I was with you like yesterday. When did you watch it?
Immediately.
Oh, you watched it with.
Yeah.
You're like Jamie Foxx.
And I was like, I have a list of things. I've only been watching reality television. I have a list of things. Now that Maria's gone.
Yeah, I did get you into Later Daters, which is excellent.
Actually, I was going to tell you, so one of my agents is retiring, and so I just called him up to be like, thank you, good luck in your future or whatever. And he was just like, I've been married to the job for 30 years. I think I'm going to go try to date. And I was like, as somebody that just finished Later Daters. He laughed so hard and he's like, please don't finish that sentence. I was like, I feel like I have so much wisdom to give you.
You're like, you are in the winter of your life, sir. Go out, enjoy it, and film it for the rest of us.
Put on a hat and just go enjoy people.
Yeah.
I've brought it up several times to many people, so you have influenced my life.
I was on the flight back from to London from New York, and there was a lot of turbulence, like more turbulence than I've dealt with in a long time.
For how long?
For a long time, for at least a half an hour.
Holy shit.
Half an hour of turbulence. And it wasn't, luckily it didn't get into like air pocket type of turbulence. That's the kind that like I'll throw up, you know, but it was like, it felt like the plane was a toy plane and a child had it and was just like, raw, you know, and it was like, it was shaking back and forth and like, you know, whatever. And I can't do anything when there's turbulence when I'm afraid. Like, so I was watching a movie. Sean Penn has made some terrible movies. Like, there's 2 Sean Penn movies I tried to watch and I couldn't. Anyway, but I was trying to watch this movie and then it
bust this episode. Okay, get it together. Jamie Foxx, try harder.
Yeah, do better, guys. You can't just like rely on your name. But I couldn't. So like, I put it on pause and I just sat and just had a blank face and I was just staring. And the people next to me, it was a couple. They were married, and I noticed the woman was like kind of like holding the man's hand, but I couldn't register what was going on because I had my own issues to deal with, and I was just staring. And eventually, like, she was like, look at me. She did like a double take. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I am scared to death." And then and her husband and I started talking. She's like my height. She's like, "Oh, I can hold both your hands." I was like, "I'm good," but like, I was scared to death. Yeah, she was so sweet. And then the husband and I started talking about like everything we're scared of and like turbulence. He was like, "This one's lasting a really long time." Like, yeah. And like, he was like, "It's usually when we go over, he said something," and I was like, "You're right." Or when you go from like land to water, there's usually turbulence there. And he had the map, you know, when you can have the map with a plane going over it. And I'm like, I do that because you want to see where in the flight you're getting this turbulence and if there's any patterns. And like, we both had such control issues. And I was like, have you watched YouTube videos where you find out like what all the sounds mean and what the pilot's doing and stuff? He's like, I haven't done that. I was like, well, I found that is a lack of control that scares me. And judging by your map that's up, I feel you feel the same. But like, it helped me so much to know what was going on. Like whenever, when it feels like the engine's stalling, or like the double like boop boops and all that shit, like, well, everything, all that means, like what happens during takeoff and landing, like all that stuff has helped me. But we talked it through, which was awesome because like it was a long time for that turbulence. And it's like every once in a while it would get so shaky we'd both kind of stop and be like, all right. So it was fun to like have a turbulence buddy.
You made a near-death experience friend.
Yeah. Did we trauma bond? That was another thing we were supposed to Google, what trauma bonding is.
Yeah, what exactly trauma bonding is. I mean, I love that this wife is like in the middle being like, all right, guys, let's stop flirting about sadness.
It actually, yeah, seriously. It actually made me feel better because she was like, no, I'm not scared at all. She's like, this does nothing for me. I was like, that's amazing. And she was like, I'm afraid of bugs. And I was like, oh, all bugs? Yes, all bugs. She was like, not bees. I was like, the ones that actually hurt you. And she was like, yeah, not bees, but like cockroaches and spiders and stuff.
I'm glad that they could have that dual, like, I really do think that's how relationships are, which is like, there's just somebody, like, each person takes like a wing in the world of what they can and can't handle.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's 2 people who can't handle the same, huh?
She's so tiny. She's so close to them.
Yeah. Well, so am I. But I'm fine with bugs, but I don't like, I'm not afraid of them that way. Yeah. I remember, you know, when you have friends who are also afraid of spiders, it's like, well, what good are you? You know, because we can't both be afraid of spiders.
We can't both be in the bathroom screaming. Like, that's unhelpful.
My friend Brian, he was like this big dude. He was afraid of spiders. I was at his place and I was like, is that a spider? And I don't hear anything. I just see out of my peripheral a shoe fly past me. I think he got it. This thing seems to think trauma bonding is like Stockholm syndrome. I didn't think that was in the definition of trauma bonding at all.
That's actually what I've grown to understand, is that everyone is using it incorrectly. That the real trauma bonding is this kind of captive situation where you start to like your captor, which I always Munchausen.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Munchausen is when you... Crap. I'm just making this harder for ourselves.
Munchausen syndrome, also known as factitious disorder, imposed on self. What did I say today when I was reading the news with Johnny? I said autonomous, and he was like, autonomous? I was like, oh my God, what has happened to my brain? It's a rare mental disorder when someone pretends to be sick to gain attention and sympathy. Oh, yeah.
But there is... trauma bonding is like a little bit of Stockholm syndrome kind of thing, where like you connect with your person.
But I thought it was like when two people, like me and that husband would have trauma bonded because we both had dealt with so much turbulence together. But like that's the wrong use of it.
Yeah, but I think we've redefined it. Like that's what I think that's what everybody thinks, is that two people go through a bad situation and now, they feel, you know what I mean? Like people both work in an abusive office and they've trauma bonded. But I think the more accurate would be if you feel bonded to your boss even though he's abusive. But yeah. I don't know what the connection due to a terrible experience with that real thing is, because I think we've just been misusing it forever. Because I remember reading that recently and being like, God damn it, I hate when don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just left you. Batavia and Baltimore were both a lot of fun, the shows. We already talked about that. We did the fake Batavia was fun last week, but it was actually nice. The shows were really nice.
It was really great. It was so cold that we did pretty much nothing. So it was just me going on stage, lying to the audience, being like, what a lovely city. I love it.
So beautiful. We did so much.
Yeah.
We barely made the 1 minute walk to like coffee and food.
Oh my God. And I just scream cried the whole time. It was so funny that it became 26 degrees. And I was like, this is nice. This is so nice. And the owner of the club texted me the next day. She's like, it's 50 degrees today. And I was like,
of course it is. Of course.
And it's really nice here. Like, I think when we came back, it was raining. It was 55 yesterday. Like,
yeah, it's like 56 here, but it's raining.
It's like,
is it raining? I'm making shit up. It's not raining. It's a beautiful day. I'm so tired.
You flew across the world and you traveled 2 weeks straight. You were in like 8 cities in 2 weeks.
Totally. The jet lag coming back, though, is much easier to deal with than the jet lag going west. Just because, like, when I go to New York, I'm like, it's like 5 p.m. I'm like, well, I'm ready for bed. And you're like, we have 5 shows. Like, oh, no.
I love that I have a picture of you asleep on every green room couch we've ever recorded.
But that's just me. That's not even jet lag. That's just like, I don't know if I'm conserving energy or if it's, what do they call that? I think I've said this before, that narcolepsy is stress-induced narcolepsy.
Yes.
I just pass out. I'm just like, I'm out. And then I think I'm not going to be able to have energy on stage, but then I have a ton of it.
Yeah, you always know how to rally, but it makes me laugh so hard where I'll be like we'll go get dinner and you're like, this is so nice. And I was like, and then the show starts at 9 and you're like, at night? At night? Like, we have to go do something at night? Like, I've never met somebody.
You've never met somebody what?
That's just such in the wrong field for timing alone.
Oh, I should not be a comedian at all. A breakfast cook, maybe? Not a comedian.
A morning talk show host?
My Live at the Apollo airs January 28th, for those in the UK, on BBC Two. But it's the show starts because I was gonna have like a little watch party. The show starts at 9:45, and I'm like, I don't want to be in bed by then. Like, my set's gonna finish. I'm like, all right, everyone out. I want to go to bed.
I like the idea that you have a pre-show party and you just hang out, and then as soon as it starts, you're like, bye, go watch
That's
it.
pretty much exactly how I pictured it. I was like, everybody meet at the pub, and then around 9:30 we'll come back to my place, watch it, and then you can all fuck off. I'll go to bed.
Start super early, do all your bonding. Text your compliments. Don't linger. I want text please compliments. How am I able to be? Sorry, my words got.
Are you gonna be able to watch it?
Yeah, am I ever gonna be able to watch it?
Yeah, there'll be clips. It's just the one that's like 12 to 13 minutes is gonna be on BBC Two, but then the one online will be 7 to 8 minutes, so you'll be able to see some of it.
Okay. Am I able to get the BBC anywhere in the U.S.?
I don't know. I think there's a way to rig it, but I don't know.
That's your job. Just to find out if there's some, because we're getting like.
Why is that my job?
This is your job. This is your show. Figure it out. No, because I want to see it.
I know that my friend has a way of watching channels from all over the world. I'll ask how that happens.
You want to get into all the announcements?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm off for the next couple of weeks. We're off for the next couple of weeks. I don't know if we discussed that, but we're off.
I don't think I am. I might be. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I meant the podcast.
We didn't discuss that, but good to know.
Yeah.
2 weeks without us? Oh, what are people going to do?
You have to figure it out.
We have a lot of back episodes.
Yeah, we have so many back episodes. But starting in January, I'll be at the DC Comedy Loft in DC. I think the second week in January, I'll be in Seattle at Here and After. I'll be in Vegas at Wise Guys. Then I'm in Janesville, Wisconsin. And then more stuff in February and April. Everything is at lizmealy.com.
My thing airs January. I already said this. January 28th, BBC Two, and then in London, I'm doing my reading the next night, January 29th at the Bill Murray. It's going to be a reading of the sitcom that my friend Lottie and I have been writing, and it'd be good to have like audience feedback because it's hard to tell when you're writing something if it's good or not. Last one we did, it was good, but like we changed it and we're going to keep trying. But that's that, and then I mean I'm going to be around London doing comedy, so. You might run into me. Thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you for all the support. And are we adding my album to the Patreon?
Sure, but the time that I will do that is not going to be timely. So we will work on that.
Or you can tip us. You can tip us on YouTube. Thanks to everyone who's given us tips. Those are great. And you can follow us now on Blue Sky, 2 Non-Doctors, and YouTube and Facebook, number 2 Full Word Doctors, and then Instagram, number 2 Non-DRS. And write to us at 2nondoctors@gmail.com. And that's it.
Yeah. Google?
Yeah.
All right.
You want me to go? You want to go first? You want me to go first? Okay.
So we were in the green room second to last show. Yeah, second to last show on Saturday. We're in the green room, and I walk in, and I was like, I'm nauseous. And you're like, what? I was like, I am not okay. And I started to get nauseous, I would say, within the last 15 minutes of my set. Not so bad, because I've been nauseous where, like, I've run off stage and I vomited. It wasn't that bad. Usually when I start to, like, have, like, I don't know, feel like you need, like, saliva's building up. Like, it's whatever the opposite of dry mouth is, where it's, like, too much saliva's in your mouth, and you're like, what is that? That's how I know I'm like, oh, no, I should not be around people. So it wasn't that bad, but I felt, like, truly nauseous and sick. And then I was doing like a meet and greet afterwards, and 2 people hugged me, and I was like, I should not be this close to people. Like, I really was like, I'm slightly worse. Like, it got worse. And then I sat down and I was like, hey, I'm really nauseous. You said to eat something, which felt counterintuitive. It did help, actually. And it was like a salad, so I guess even it being kind of a little plain was helpful. I would say that took the edge off like 30-40%, but I still just felt off for the next couple of hours. But I had like just gotten my period. Like it was like whatever, and I was like, is that, I've never associated like PMS and nausea before, and I was like, was that just something I ate, or was that, so I asked, and this might be a leading question because I was like, can your period cause nausea? And it was like, yes. Like it was like, no, but I've never experienced this. It says yes, nausea is a common symptom of premenopausal syndrome, PMS, and can occur during or before your period. It usually, and that's the other thing. Almost every shitty symptom I have, like I was having really bad cramps all weekend, and that's always before. It's very rarely during. So when things happen, I guess it is a little bit before, but I just find most of my shitty symptoms that my body likes to exhibit is always before. It's usually caused by hormonal changes that trigger the release of prostaglandins. There's no way I said that right. Prostaglandins, which are inflammatory compounds that cause nausea and menstrual cramps, which I was experiencing all weekend. I just hate their fucking advice. Take over-the-counter painkillers, heating pad, eat smaller, more frequent meals, and then it's just like take birth control. It's like, first of all, that's not a current option. What am I finding them on the floor?
Completely change the entire hormonal makeup of your body.
Yeah, and I just hate that in general. I mean, I have so many qualms for birth control, but like that's a Band-Aid, dude. Like, what are we doing? So I didn't throw up, which is good. And it was, I mean, I find it so wild that it's been every month since I was 13, and I'm still like, surprise, this is a new, like, or not even being able to associate it. Like this, sometimes I get cramps and I'm like, man, I'm having a really bad stomach ache, and I was like, nope, those are cramps. That's not my stomach. That's my uterus. It's always been my uterus. But like, it just all gets jumbled, and it doesn't happen every month. And I don't know. I just like, I feel like as a woman, each year I'm unlocking new inconveniences due to, like, you know, I'm like, this is like the worst video game where they're like, nausea.
Nausea. Because, yeah, that happened to me with dizziness, because I never used to get dizzy. And I'm like, sometimes I'm dizzy before my period. I'm just like, that's a new one. Cool. Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, just making a list, being like, it could be anything.
Is it perimenopause? We don't know. Well, yeah. I also wonder, because I'd heard about a couple people lately, like, vomiting. I wonder if, like, stomach bugs are contagious, or viruses that cause nausea are contagious. Because usually when you hear about somebody vomiting, it's not a contagious thing. It's like food poison. Is the stomach flu? Maybe, but that's not contagious, right? So food poisoning is not contagious. Hormonal issues, not contagious. But if it's the stomach flu, is that contagious? Don't know. Oh, but actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, because I remember having like a stomach bug, I think, where it's just like both directions. Blah, you know, you're just like yeah,
you're just like, I live in the bathroom now.
Like The Exorcist. It's just like, yeah, I live in the bathroom now. But I feel like that could be contagious. Doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah, I've heard about a few people like feeling sick and vomiting.
Yeah, and it just,
lately.
I mean, yeah, and it's, I mean, it came on pretty harshly, and I would say it dissipated within a couple of hours, but it was like, I don't know. I just, this month, my body was unhappy with being a woman, and I couldn't have, I've never felt nausea before, so I couldn't have predicted it, but.
I could also be due to our diets lately, because we've been eating a lot of sugar. It's just been that like month before Christmas where you go, fuck it. There's no point changing anything right now.
Sugar and caffeine? You mean our purest diet of sugar and caffeine?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, hey,
yeah.
hell yeah. And I was like, hey, you want a cup of coffee? And you're like, hell yeah. And I'm like, hey, you want a salad? And you're like,
I guess. Does it have crab on it? Yeah. So it could be anything. Fun. Now, those salads we had, mine had jalapeno peppers on it. And sometimes with jalapeno peppers, they're spicy. Sometimes they're fine. Sometimes they're too much. I used to make jalapeno margaritas at work at the bar I worked at. And people would complain, like, this is too spicy. I'm like, one, you ordered a jalapeno margarita. But two, like, sometimes some jalapenos are just way spicier than others. So these jalapenos were fucking spicy. And I could feel it coming on. I was like, I'm about to hiccup. And then I was like, and then that like loud like spasm of a hiccup happened. And I was like, I'm going to have to go on stage with hiccups because we were in the green room. And I was worried about it. I was like, but why does spicy food cause hiccups? And it says it can cause hiccups because it irritates the nerves near the esophagus, which signal the diaphragm to contract. The chemical compound capsaicin, found in chili peppers and other spicy foods activates these nerves. Other things that can cause hiccups include eating too much or causing stomach distension, having gas in the stomach that presses against the diaphragm, consuming acidic foods such as sodas or canned tomatoes. Of all the acidic foods, sodas and canned tomatoes, drinking very cold drinks, consuming coffee and caffeine, I think that's where I went wrong, and consuming alcohol.
But it was like immediate. Like you're like, whoa, this is spicy. Oh no, I'm gonna hiccup. And then like truly
it was like a cartoon character. It was like a bubble.
The only reason I knew that sometimes people hiccup when they eat spicy foods is because of hot ones. Like there's been like two people that were like they got further down the wings.
I would 100% be a hiccuper. I always hiccup when I go too spicy.
I don't even know. I don't want to do... I don't know who I am at that level because I refuse to do that.
But you want to be on hot ones, right?
Yes, because it's like, oh, what a dumb thing to do, and I'm going to learn... We're all going to learn so much about me in the moment because there's no way... To me, hot ones would be like someone like almost talking about Jamie Foxx, like somebody waking me up in the middle of the night and pushing me out of a plane, and I have no idea how I would react. I don't know if I would be like, let's do this, or if I'd be like, ah, or if I'd be like on top of it. So I don't know if like, what if I like rallied and I was just like able to do it, and I just like a, you know, prisoner of war, like a POW, just was like found something inside of me and was like, this, you know what I mean? How did you survive 3 years, Liz? I went in and I was ready and I just knew it was going to end at some point and I just had to believe in God. Like, I don't know, like if I'm going to find Jesus, like I want to know who I am, but I want something, clearly I want some kind of accolades for it. I don't want to do it at a bar.
Yeah. I don't want to do it. I want it to mean something, advance my career in some way.
Yeah, I want millions of views, but I don't want like my boyfriend to be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, not now, Evan. I'm just like crying, drinking a pitcher. But yeah, I'm curious because I've never allowed myself to get past probably a 2. At Thanksgiving, my brother brought his girlfriend, who's Indian, from India, and my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, is Filipino and grew up in Singapore, and they were just like bonding off spicy food, and so they're just talking about and then immediately Mike goes, "Oh, Liz ate dinner with my parents." And she ordered something, and it turned out too spicy. And we were all like, oh, is it too spicy? He goes, but I tried it, and it was actually almost too spicy for me. And she finished it. And I did. I literally was like, it was really good. Because I can acknowledge, like, sometimes there's, like, spice, and it's just evil. This was an incredible dish that was just outside my... But I was like, I'm hungry. Everybody seems to be fine. Maybe I'll get used to it. I never did. I kind of just, like, quietly cried and ate it. So I think I've accidentally touched like a foreign spiciness, but like Mike could not wait to like just be like, Liz powered through, and we were all real proud of her.
They were like clapping. You did it! The white girl ate spice.
This camera, tell people what you're Like I accidentally did my own hot ones with my sister's in-laws.
That's hilarious. Oh, all right. Spicy.
Happy holidays to everybody. We are going to be off for 2 weeks to take off because we never take off, even though we just took off. It's just, that's how the nature of holidays are. They're back to back. I don't know why.
People take off. It's all right.
We're taking off. Stop yelling. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you for your support. And,
We'll see you in 2025 for what? Season 4?
Yeah.
We're not paying attention. See you in 2025. Happy. All right, I'm in the middle of something. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year, and see you next week. I already started saying happy, so I had to finish it. Bye.
Bye.